Imagine this. You're sitting down thinking, how can you help people that you are committed to helping, that you're dedicated to helping, that have gone through a period of time, in this case, the past 11 months. And you know there are certain things that maybe have blindsided them, have kept them back from being successful, or have caused them to experience failure much greater than they actually expected. What would you do? What would you give to those people? Would it be to sell them another product or another service or something else? Well, for me, that was a situation I found myself in recently. I've been scratching my head, thinking and racking my brain, thinking of, what is it that I can actually give to those that I'm committed to and I'm dedicated to serving, which a group of those people are introvert entrepreneurs and experts online, just like, you and I, because we face different types of challenges from our extrovert counterparts. And the thing is, we don't normally talk about these things. We talk about all the other things that are out there without taking care of those key things that will help us be successful because we are introverts. And so I came up with the ultimate 2020 marketing mayhem escape plan for introvert entrepreneurs and experts online. And without letting the cat out of the bag right now, I don't know why the cat's been in the bag for so long, because that phrase was actually used when I was still a kid. But anyway, without letting the cat out of the bag, if you can't guess from the title what this is about, it's about introspection. It's about looking at where you are right now and starting to put the right things in place so that your 2020 can be better than your 2019, depending on the time you watch this, which will have just gone or will be coming to a close. So if you are ready, let's get started.
Here's your coach and mentor bio.
If you're a motivated introvert coach, consultant, thought leader, and service professional, I know this to be true about you, even if I don't know you personally or professionally. If you're not in my world, you're not part of our group, you're not part of the Quiet Experts page, I still know this to be true about you. Over the last 11 months, you've been on a mission driven by passion and a vision. You wanted nothing more than to help people eliminate the problems and results they have that they don't want, and help them get the results that they do want but don't have, and that they struggle to get by themselves. But there's been a problem. You've tried your best to make things happen in your expert business, but it hasn't worked. So the question is, whose fault is it? Is it yours? Is it the economy? Is it because you're unknown and don't have any big name connections? No, if there's one thing we can agree on is that it isn't your fault. But having said that, we're most likely going to be having this same exact discussion this time next year, to be honest. If nothing changes, if you continue doing exactly what you're doing now or you've done up until this point. And as much as I care about you as a motivated introvert entrepreneur and motivated quiet expert online, how inspiring would it be for us to be celebrating your personal and professional successes by this time next year? So to start your 2020 success cycle, because it is going to be a cycle if you do the right things and do the right things at the right time in the right order. To start your 2020 success cycle now, here's something I'd like to gift to you today. So what's the price? Well, the price is that you promise to take action on the information and that you don't just treat it as more information that you listen to or you file away and that's it, it's done, and then you're on to the next piece of information. So my question to you is, can you make that promise, not to me, but to yourself? But more importantly, apart from making that promise to yourself, can you follow through, and will you follow through? So what is this important gift? It's a list of the top causes of personal and business failure. It's a list that highlights the root causes of failure too many introvert coaches and consultants experienced and succumbed to in 2019. But here's the good news. It's time for us to fix that and fix it together. And this is a part of my commitment to helping as many introvert entrepreneurs and experts online, coaches, consultants, thought leaders, service business professionals, and others to fix this by giving you what you need, cutting away all the fat, and just going straight for the facts. Now, you know what I know to be true about you, even if I don't know you personally or professionally. And like I said, if you're currently not yet part of our Facebook group, or you're not following our page, our Quiet Experts page, there's something I still know to be true about you. And it's that if you do more of the same in 2020 and you expect different results, you know it doesn't work that way. I mean, the people that you coach, the people you mentor, the people that you serve, that invest in themselves with you, that buy your products, your services, you know that you deliver a transformation, which is creating something that doesn't exist. Think of a butterfly morphing from being a caterpillar into a butterfly. That is transformation, not just change. But you can't continue doing the things you've done for the past 11 plus months and think you're going to get different results. You know it just doesn't work that way. So I won't try to cajole you to agree with me that now is the time to review and renew. Now's the time for you to be open and honest with yourself. And remember, I said this, and you'll hear me say it quite a lot. It's not about me. This is about you, what you want to do, and the people or businesses you want to serve. But it starts from you being open and honest with yourself and reviewing the real challenges and obstacles that you faced. And also renew your faith in yourself and what you want to do so that you have an impact in the world. And the good news, again, is that it all starts with changing the way you look at things from here on. I believe it was the late, great Wayne Dyer, one of my mentors, that said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Now, these results that I'm going to reveal to you, the challenges, and these are the results I'm talking about, they're in no order of impact, but every single one of them has one thing in common. Can you guess what that is? Each one represents a key piece of the marketing puzzle, holding you back from achieving success. And why do I say marketing puzzle? Well, the marketing, as you know, raises the awareness about who you are, what you do, and what you have to offer. If you don't get the marketing piece right, you can forget whether you have advanced degrees, whether you have certifications from any organization. You can forget the number of years of experience that you have. You can forget how heart-centered you are and how authentic and transparent, and all those platitudes. They won't matter if nobody exists, nobody knows you exist, or more people or more organizations don't get to know that you exist in the very first place. And so that's why these key pieces are of the marketing puzzle. And if you don't get these pieces right, just like a normal puzzle, you're going to have gaps. Now, the first step is to identify what pieces you are struggling with. And as I said at the start, this will work. I guarantee it'll work for you if you're open and honest with yourself. Just as an aside, sometimes I'll come across people that have, come into my world because of marketing or some other, maybe word of mouth or some other type of contact or outreach. And one of the first things they say is that, you know what, I'm not your ideal client. Okay, I didn't ask whether you were, but they'll say to me, I'm not your ideal client. And they go on to tell me about, how successful they've been and how, good they are and everything, which at times is true, but many times it isn't. And what I find is that people, for some bizarre reason, some introvert entrepreneurs don't want to accept that they have problems in the first place. And if you don't do that, then you can't solve those problems because you're being blindsided by yourself, by your own belief systems about the things that you really are struggling with or that are stopping you from having the sort of impact that you want. And that is why I highlight the fact that openness and honesty, it's about who are you when nobody is looking. that is the place you've got to start. So the first step is to identify what pieces you are struggling right now from this list that has been compiled from interviews, discovery, one-on-one planning sessions, and other sources as well. So find the information you need and close the gap, and then you will achieve your breakthrough. And I want you to be consistent and persistent in following through. Once you've identified the gaps, you've got the information you need, and then you're applying that information. I want you to be consistent and persistent. I remember looking at I think it was on a page, because I don't think it was in a group, where someone posted a survey among coaches and consulting professionals that what is their number one challenge? And I believe the top item was consistency, and then followed by persistence in what you're doing. So these are key for you to be successful to eliminate the marketing mayhem that has gone on in the past. So let's put the past behind us. Now, if you're ready, let's do this. Now, I think I might have mentioned this, but it's worth mentioning again that these are in no particular order of impact or priority or preference. The results are just the results, and I just put them into a presentation and I'm creating this video. So it doesn't matter whether what ails you, what really is hurting you is at the end. The goal of this piece is for you to identify which one of these is a problem, or which are problems that you've struggled with as the very first step. At the end, I'll tell you exactly what you need to do next. So the first one is poor pricing. And this relates to people, experts who have very valuable transformational knowledge, wisdom, and expertise, pricing what they offer too low. And I won't get into the solutions for each one of these. I'm going to do that in a separate training session. But for now, just identify if you believe one or more of these is a problem that has held you back in the last 11 plus months. If you're not sure, I would say put it on your list, because then as we go into more detail in other sessions, you can look at exactly what the symptoms are and what the solutions available to you are to solve the problem, okay? So let's not get hung up with what the definitions are. Take them at face value. If you know it's one of your problems, mark it up. If you're not sure, mark it up. But if you know that poor pricing isn't a problem, for instance, then forget about it. The other one, next one is difficult strategies. Many times, introvert entrepreneurs spend a lot of time learning, and they try to create a hybrid strategy for their expert business. This doesn't work. It makes what you want to do difficult. It makes your overall strategy difficult. And when I have planning sessions with people that have reached out to me for help or just to get clarity, one of the key things I just asked them is, how does your strategy work, and who do you serve, and those sort of things. In the background, you can see the strategy that we use within the Quiet Experts method. This is our strategy for taking people from their point A to their point B. But what is your strategy? What does it look like? The next one is the wrong offer. If you have the wrong offer and you're presenting it to the wrong market, it's not going to work. And what do I mean by the wrong offer? I mean your solution. Some people say a signature solution. I call it a client transformation solution, which means how you take, again, your ideal clients from point A to point B. But if you're putting it in front of people, number one, maybe they can't afford it, for instance. Maybe they're at the wrong stage of their business right now, for instance. It's not going to work, because you're putting a good solution in front of someone or an organization that can't afford it. So good solution, putting in front of the wrong type of prospect is a wrong offer. And there are other things as well. But as I said just now, this is just identifying the high-level indicators of each of these marketing problems that have held you and many others back over the last 11 plus months. Let's keep going. Unclear message. If I asked you right now, so who do you serve? I'm sure you could tell me something, but would it be the right message? Would it be the message that it resonates rather with those that you can help, and it really drives away those that you can't help? And again, this is one of the areas where people say to me, you know what, Bio? Oh yeah, I do this, or they have a message, but the message is not clear. And there's a difference between having a message and having an unclear message. Confidence, or a lack of confidence, I should say. Being an introvert entrepreneur myself, and a highly motivated introvert entrepreneur, I know that I can help people because of my 20 years of experience. I know that there are certain things I can really do. But the honest truth is there are certain things that I just don't feel confident doing. And for the longest time, one of those was getting in front of a video camera and talking about anything. You know, let's not even talk about talking about yourself and what you do, which is a challenge, a major challenge for many introvert entrepreneurs. But let's just talk about putting the focus on the people or the organizations you want to serve. Now, surely that should be easy enough, because I want to help you as a business. I want to help you as an individual. This is not about me, so I shouldn't be, lack the confidence. But the truth is, introvert entrepreneurs and introvert experts, coaches, consultants, thought leaders, and service professionals lack the confidence for a whole variety of reasons. But the good news is, when your system works, when you're doing the right things in the right order, the confidence actually just will be there, because you know that, number one, let's take the case of talking about what you do. It's not about you, it's about them. And when you're talking about someone else, let's say I'm a doctor. Let's go way out there and say I'm a doctor and you've got a fever. If I'm talking to you about the symptoms of your fever, whether you're having got a high temperature, whether you can't eat, why am I going to lack the confidence to ask you those questions? I won't. And the reason why I do have the confidence, like in the case of the doctor, is because I know my stuff. I know that it works. You know your stuff. You know it works. Okay? If the people, the businesses you want to help, if they just do what they need to do. So a lack of confidence, and again, without going into details, is this one of the things you believe has held you back? No business model. Well, that speaks for itself. If you're just trying everything and anything, and you think you have a business model, the results will be that your marketing just doesn't work. A friend of mine would say your marketing sucks. I'm not going to say that, because that's what he said. But if you don't have a business model, it's not working. And the fact that you have a sales page, or you have a webinar, or you have a product, doesn't mean you have a business model. Insufficient number of planning sessions. If you're a coach, and depending on the price of what you offer, people may need to speak with you. But here is a big problem I've seen. People want to move away from being commoditized, being just like everyone else. And in order for you to do that, what you offer has to, and whether you agree with me or not on this is beside the point, for you to have more impact, to reach more people, they need to know you exist. In order for them to know you exist, you can't just be using generic marketing. For you to actually have more of an impact and grow your business, or scale your business, as they say, the type of offering you have will most likely include speaking to people to make sure they qualify for your premium service or your premium product. Before you can do that, you need to talk to people. People aren't just going to give you $5,000 just because you have a good voice, or you've got some NLP stuff going on your sales page. No, it isn't going to happen. So for that to happen, you need to have these planning sessions. Some people say discovery calls. Some people say strategy sessions. I call them planning sessions, because that really is what they need to be. But again, we'll go into the details in subsequent sessions. But one of the reasons why people struggle, those who, their products or services could be considered to be premium or high ticket, is because of insufficient number of planning sessions. Wrong strategy for traffic. Now, many people are afraid of paid advertising, so they don't do it. A lot of introvert entrepreneurs and experts online have tried it, it didn't work out, and so they don't do it. Either way, they're not doing this because they have the wrong strategy for traffic. And what I see people doing is asking around from others who don't know about the strategy for traffic to suit what they do as introvert entrepreneurs, not just as any type of coach or any type of consultant or any type of thought leader. I'm talking about introverts specifically. I'm talking about us. There's a strategy that you should be using if you're an introvert entrepreneur or an introvert expert online, because that strategy allows you to play to your strengths. Most people struggle and have struggled over the last period because of wrong strategies for traffic. Is that one of your challenges? Now, this is different. This is about content creation. One of the big challenges and reasons for failure for many introvert entrepreneurs and experts online is that they have the wrong or no strategy for content creation. This, again, is fairly straightforward, and there are ways you should be doing this that, again, just like everything else I'm talking about here, allows you to play to your strengths. Difficulty selling. I don't even think I need to talk about this. You know if you have difficulty selling, whether it's over the phone, whether it's through your webinars, or whether it's in person. You know right now, as you're listening to the sound of my voice, whether you have difficulty selling. And if you have difficulty, if you have a mental block with selling, first and foremost, you'll do everything to avoid having those necessary selling discussions. And not only that, when you sell through webinars, you'll come across as not being authentic. You'll come across as potentially incompetent. And let's say you don't speak to people in person. You don't run webinars. Your fear of selling will come through on your sales page. It'll come through in your marketing. You'll be playing small. But let me not even get started on this one, because I know it's a very emotional point for many of us introvert entrepreneurs. But the fact is, it's still one of the challenges that creates marketing mayhem for many introvert entrepreneurs and experts online. Frustration with technology. I mean, the last time I looked, and by the way, I did something recently called the 6 pieces of every successful expert business sales funnel that converts. If you haven't seen it, reach out to me and let me know, but you can just check post that if you're following me, or even if you're not following me, just check the Quiet Experts page. Check out, if you're in the group, you'll know that it already exists. But I did say, and what was I going to say here? Yeah, I was going to say that, there's frustration with technology means that it most likely will mean you don't have a consistent and fluid funnel in place. And a funnel effectively is taking your people from point A, where they don't know about you, to point B, where if they're a good fit, they've reached out to you and, they become your client. So when it comes to creating a sales funnel, for instance, there are 6 key pieces, 6 key parts, 6 key components, if I can get the words out, of every successful expert business sales funnel that you need to know. And again, I'll go into this in more detail in other training. And if you're registered for that, that's fine. You'll get to know about it. If not, maybe when you just happen to paths cross again. But know that frustration with technology doesn't need to be frustration with technology. The challenge is we overcomplicate. There's click funnels, there's this funnels, there's funnel hackers, there's funnel. No, take a deep breath. Technology, you don't need a lot of technology. In fact, I take a minimalist approach to technology, because just learning things over and over again, it may make you feel good, but if it doesn't drive what you're doing and allow you to get results, well, it's a waste of time. So this is one of the sticking points, one of the causes of marketing mayhem. And when you fix this, you're putting your escape plan into place. Overwhelmed with marketing. Now, I've alluded to this already, but overwhelmed with marketing, as I'm talking about it here, is when you try too many things. Okay, you're trying too many things to get attention from those that you can help. You're trying to get attention by spraying and praying, as the phrase goes, and that does make you feel overwhelmed, because once you look over here, there's someone else telling you how to do something to market yourself. You look over to the left, someone else is telling you something. You cast your eyes upwards, someone else is asking you to do something. And of course, if you look down at what you already have, by the time you combine these, yes, you will feel overwhelmed, but it doesn't need to be that way. So Did you in the last period feel overwhelmed with your marketing? Fear of using paid advertising. I think I alluded to this earlier on, where people say in forums and groups, oh, I tried Facebook ads or Google ads or YouTube marketing or fill in the blank, and it didn't work out, so I stopped using it. You know what that says to me? I tried to do what works. It didn't work out, so I'm just going to stay playing small and not do what needs to be done. Does word of mouth marketing work in this day and age of digital everything? Sure it does. But if you're using word of mouth marketing, you'll get nowhere near the results of paid advertising. And I know that some gurus will say that, well, I can show you how to do this without paid advertising. And that, again, is still true. So let's just be clear here. Can you attract people into your communities, to your services, your products with non-paid advertising? Of course you could, but your results will not be as quick. And again, with paid advertising, it allows you to test what works and what doesn't. So while I'm not against using non-paid methods, even if it's whatever method it is, search engine optimization and all these other methods, I'm against not using paid advertising at all. And I say this from my own experience of being someone fearful of using paid advertising as well. I feared losing my shirt. I feared my business, just not being profitable or just not having any impact. But that was all in my head. So if you're fearful of using paid advertising right now, maybe because you've heard of the horror stories, or maybe because you've used it and it didn't work out, well, it's like a relationship with anything. You dated someone, it didn't work out. Does that mean you're not going to date anyone again? Well, I'm sure the answer is no. Okay, so being fearful of using paid advertising is another marketing mayhem challenge. Lost in the sea of sameness. I heard this from, what's his name? Is a Canadian expert. I can't remember his name right now. So I'm not saying that I came up with the phrase sea of sameness. His name eludes me right now, and I'd love to give him credit for it. Maybe if I do remember who it is, I'll post it somewhere. But being lost in the sea of sameness, you know what it means. It means you're no different to everyone out there. It starts off by you defining yourself, identifying yourself as, I'm a coach, I'm a health coach, I'm a wellness coach, I'm a marketing coach. No, doesn't contain a process and doesn't say anything. In fact, it's quite repulsive. So when you don't, and I know that for introvert entrepreneurs and experts, for us, this can be a challenge because we don't want to feel like we're bragging. But you know what? Bragging isn't what you need to do. You need to help people understand that you can help them. But many introvert entrepreneurs online and experts play small, and as a result, they get lost in the sea of sameness. Information overload. I don't think I even need to talk about this. It's like sucking information from everywhere you can, attending free webinars, downloading free reports. And that might be a lot of what you did over the last period in time. Well, if you're going to be successful in 2020, that is something you need to stop. And a mentor of mine said one of the best things you can do for yourself and your business is to go on an information diet. And I talk about this more in subsequent and upcoming programs or sessions or training. A lack of confidence. Did I talk about this? Well, just in case I didn't, here it is. Lack of confidence. You know if you have the confidence, but is it confidence to do the right things? Are you confident at doing the things that don't really matter? That's a big and very, very deep question. Where does your confidence lie? Confident in playing small? And that really is it. There was nothing else after that. Okay, so those are just some of the top results, remember, from planning sessions that I've conducted with businesses, small business owners, medium-sized business owners. I'm not even talking about the corporate clients that we serve here, entrepreneurs, extroverts and introverts, but primarily introverts. These results are the results of surveys and many, many other information sources. Remember, your goal is to look at these and identify the ones that really you feel have held you back and that you're going to determine will not hold you back as you move into 2020, and do your best to connect with those that you can serve, you can offer up greater transformation to. So let's talk about the next step. And notice that I said next step, not steps. There's a reason behind it. I want you to now commit to yourself. Maybe raise your right hand. I'm raising my right hand here. No, I said raise your right hand like you're taking an oath. No, raise it. I'm serious. Raise your right hand. Because I learned this somewhere else, there is a connection between the activities we take and how we're really communicating with ourselves. So if you really matter to you, if what you believe what you want to do matters to those you really want to help out there, I want you to raise your right hand and say along with me, I, and then say your name. In my case, it'll be Bayan. I, say your name, commit to be honest with myself about what hasn't worked exactly as planned over the last 11 months. I will then get clear on the measurable outcome I need from each item because I can do it. I hope you found this information useful, but more important than that you're going to act on what you now know. If you have any questions at all, if you're an introvert, coach, consultant, thought leader, service professional, and you want to talk about anything that I've mentioned in this short training, feel free to reach out to me and let's talk. But until next time, it's been Bayo here, and thanks for joining me today.